Welcome back to the 8th concession. My name is Natalie. Well, today's the day. It's time to harvest the peaches. They have been growing on my tree all season. This is the first crop of peaches I'm going to get from this tree. I'm so excited. I have actually tried one already fresh off the tree and they're delicious. They're a bit smaller than some of the ones I might buy in the store, but they came off my tree. That makes them better. Now, I only had a couple of cherries this year off my orchard. No apples. The pear is still a bit young, but the peaches have produced, the peach tree has produced enough that I have a crop of peaches. I'm excited to try some peach recipes. I'm excited to can some peaches, but first I have to pick them. I can see that some of the peaches are already falling on the ground. So I am not doing this even a day too soon. First, I'm going to take the netting off, and then I'm going to harvest those beautifully colored peaches. So the tree is empty. But the basket is full. Isn't this incredible? I am just blown away at not only how many I got, but how beautiful they look. Now, there is a little bit of bug damage, but by little I mean maybe 2 or 3. There's a few that fell and they were kind of bitten into by a few bugs, but I think the netting really did its job. The netting not only kept the birds from pecking at them, but it seemed to discourage maybe even some of the flying insects because, you know, they could get caught, and really I got caught several times trying to take it off the tree. It is easy to get caught up in that netting. So I have a friend who has a peach tree and she got no peaches this year because a squirrel got in her tree and took a bite out of each and every one. Didn't finish any of them, but took a bite out of everyone and just ruined the crop. So perhaps that also deterred squirrels? I don't know. We do have red and gray squirrels here, so truly there was hardly any that were spoiled. So it is the next day already. I couldn't manage to get everything done yesterday. I did manage to harvest some more things. A lot is coming ripe in the garden. So I have a bunch of zucchini I need to make some zucchini bread with. I picked some sage, which I want to dehydrate, and some oregano. And then my daughter picked buckets and buckets of blackberries that need to be taken care of. And then, of course, the peaches. So yesterday I did start some projects. I washed and put the sage leaves on the racks for the dehydrator. I did the same with the oregano. I picked off any leaves that weren't bug bitten or had anything on them, gave them a spin in my salad spinner, and then laid them out on the racks as well and put all 4 on to start dehydrating. I find that the dehydrating takes about a good 24 hours for me, and I don't like to leave it running overnight. So I had it running all day, turned it off overnight, and now it's back on again. Some of the blackberries we're using for fresh eating, some I'm gifting to family, and some yesterday I actually gave them a rinse and I put them on a cookie tray lined with wax paper to freeze. I like to freeze my fruit individually so that I can actually take it out frozen and even measure it. I don't like it frozen in one clump, so that's why I freeze them this way. I set them out on the wax paper on a tray and then put it like that directly in the freezer in a day or so. Whenever I get around to it, which seems to be late these days, I will just take that out, put them in a Ziploc bag and label it. And then I have some frozen berries so we can have some pies and tarts over the winter. So now today I am trying to deal with the peaches, and if I have time, the zucchini. I'm going to do the peaches first because I don't want them to go bad before I take care of them. The zucchini can last a bit longer just in a cool space before I can get around to baking with it. So today I want to try, I'm going to keep some peaches for fresh eating. Again, I'm gifting some to members of my family, so I'm going to keep the nicest, biggest ones aside for fresh eating. But I want to make some frozen peach pie filling. I found a really good recipe, so it's going to take, I want to do a double batch. I want to do enough for 2 pies. And that I think is going to take between 10 and 12 peaches. Now, because my peaches are a bit smaller, I might add a few, but I'm excited to have these frozen in the freezer, ready to make a fresh peach pie in the winter when it's cold and snowy and you want that taste of summer. So that's my chore for this morning. If I get to the zucchini bread, great. But if not, I will put a link below to the zucchini bread video that I did. I know I did do that one. I promised a video for rice and cabbage the other day and realized I didn't have a video on that. So the next time I make rice and cabbage, or it should technically be called pork and cabbage, I will video that. But this time I do know I have a video on Hungarian zucchini loaves, so when I will link that below. I won't bother showing that again, but I will be trying to get that done this morning if I have time. But first, peach pie filling. So I'm going to pick out some nice ones. So there's a little bit of damage there, but I'm going to pick out some for fresh eating before I pick them out for the pie. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scald them briefly just to make them easier to peel. So I've washed them and I'm just going to put them in some boiling water only for about a minute. I don't know if I can do them all at once. I might have to do it in 2 batches. And then I've got my cold water already in my sink to stop them from cooking, and they should be easier to peel. Just look how easily they peel. Okay, now we're ready to make the actual pie filling. So I've washed and dried my pot because I need this size. I have doubled the recipe. So this is going to make 2 peach pie fillings. So it's 1.5 cups of white sugar, 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Again, this is for 2. 2/3 of a cup cornstarch. Didn't quite get all that out. 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon. Let's get that. And a dash of salt if you want to. You don't have to. Now we're going to whisk that all together. To our dry ingredients, we're going to add 2 cups cold water. Oh, Making a mess. Wouldn't be me cooking if I wasn't making a mess. And 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now we're going to cook this over medium heat until it thickens, about 5 to 7 minutes. You can see it thickening now. It's getting harder to whisk. It's almost like a caramel. Yum. All right. Now that it's thickened, we're going to add our peaches. And we're going to cook it for 2 or 3 more minutes so that the peaches themselves are cooked through. Oh, it looks so good already. There, that looks great. So now I'm going to remove it from the heat. I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla and let it cool. There, now I let it cool about 10 minutes. And now comes the fun part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this large freezer bag, which I've already labeled. I have 2 of them here ready because this was a double recipe. Make a mess, because that's what I do. And clean up some of my mess here. I'm going to seal them. So I have most of the air out. So now I'm just going to lay them flat in the pan here. And I'm actually going to freeze them in these foil pie plates so that they freeze in exactly the right shape that I need to make a peach pie. So when I go to make it, I don't even have to thaw it first and pour it in. I can put this shaped round pie filling right in my frozen pie shell, throw it right in the oven. How easy is that? So in the freezer they go. So I'm going to run down now and pop this in my freezer so that I have some delicious frozen peach pie filling ready to make a summery, fresh tasting pie in the middle of the dark, cold winter. It will be such a treat. I'm still hoping to get to the zucchini bread today and a couple of other things. I think I have some more blackberries to deal with, but I'm really happy to have this done. It's so great to see the freezer and the pantry filling up with delicious food for winter. Makes all the gardening work worthwhile, doesn't it? So it took a couple of days more than I thought, but I got everything done and I'm really happy with what I got. So here is a bag of frozen peach halves ready to make into any kind of desserts I want. 2 batches of peach pie filling frozen in the foil pans, so I just pop them into the frozen pie shell and bake them. Dehydrated sage, which I'm going to crush up. Dehydrated oregano. A huge bag of frozen blackberries. And I've got at least another couple bags to go as they keep ripening out there. And 2 loaves of zucchini bread. Actually, I think I have enough zucchini left to do 2 more loaves, but I'm going to have to save that for maybe the next day. So, very excited. Bye for now.